There is a particular kind of travel advice that has become very popular. It promises authentic experiences. It tells you to book directly with hotels, to avoid tourist traps, to eat where locals eat. And it all sounds quite sensible. The problem is that following this advice often costs more than the shortcuts it warns you against. Let me explain what is actually happening. The standard wisdom says that booking directly saves money, that third-party sites add hidden fees, that you should always call the hotel instead of using an aggregator. The advice also says you must venture off the beaten path, that tourist areas are overpriced and inauthentic, that real value lies in hidden neighborhoods where tourists never go. This sounds correct, it feels correct, but the numbers tell a different story. Let's start with direct booking. I searched for the same hotel in Barcelona for 3 nights in October. Booking.com showed $287 including all fees. The hotel's own website showed $314 for the identical room. That is $27 more for doing what the advice tells you to do. This happens because many hotels give better rates to booking platforms. The platforms buy rooms in bulk. They negotiate discounts that individual travelers cannot access. Yes, some hotels do offer price matching, but you have to ask, you have to negotiate, and most people simply pay the higher rate without checking. Now let's talk about eating where locals eat. This advice appears in every travel guide ever written. The reality is more complicated. I tested this in Lisbon. A tourist restaurant near Rocio Square charged $14 for bacalhau. A local place in Alfama charged $18 for the same dish. The local place was better, but it was not cheaper. The reason is simple. Restaurants in tourist areas compete on price. They serve high volumes. They can afford lower margins. Neighborhood restaurants serve fewer customers. They charge what they need to stay open. Sometimes that means higher prices. This advice works well if you have time. If you can spend an afternoon comparing prices across 5 websites, if you can walk an extra 40 minutes to save £3 on dinner, if you speak the local language well enough to navigate off-tourist path areas. If your priority is experience over efficiency, then yes, this advice can deliver value. Not always financial value, but experiential value. If you have a week's holiday and limited energy, this approach will cost you. You will spend hours researching the perfect local restaurant. You will book directly and pay more without realizing it. You will take 3 buses to reach an authentic neighborhood market that closes at noon. The advice also fails if you're traveling with children, or if you have mobility concerns, or if you simply want a straightforward trip without constant planning. The hidden cost is your time. And time on holiday is worth more than most people calculate. The travel advice that tells you to avoid shortcuts is often expensive, not because it is wrong about authenticity, but because it assumes you have unlimited time and energy. It also assumes that all third-party sites are bad and all direct bookings are good. That is not how pricing works. Here is what actually saves money. Compare prices across all options. Use booking platforms when they are cheaper. Book directly when the hotel matches or beats that rate. Eat in tourist areas when you are tired. Eat in local areas when you have time to explore. Do not follow rules. Follow your budget and your energy levels. The most expensive travel advice is the kind that makes you feel guilty for taking the easier option, especially when the easier option costs less. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.